Hello everyone, welcome to Advanced Knowledge Systems and a warm welcome to AKS IAS Academy. It offers examination coaching for UPSC CSC, State Public Service Commission, SSC Combined Graduate Level and CLAT examinations. And about me, I'm Sandeep Bhushan Thumala and I take up the analysis of the Hindu newspaper of today's, that is of 18th May 2021. And throughout my session, I would be emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases from the Hindu newspaper, wherein we will identify the factual, analytical, and conceptual questions which are critical for UPSC prelims perspective. And while you get into the mode of imbibing the keywords and the key phrases for your answer writing, that is for the mains examination, your answers for the mains examinations would be precise and concise, and thereby you will score higher marks in the mains examination. So this session at AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis will certainly help you to crack both the prelims as well as mains for the year 2021. And before we get into the DNA of the newspaper, we would be focusing at the quote of the day. And the quote of the day says that small steps in the right directions are better than big steps in the wrong direction. So what is very crucial while you are into the mode of attaining success is that you need to make sure that you are in the right direction. Whether whether the steps are very small, doesn't matter, but you need to make sure that you are in the right direction but not in the wrong direction with the big steps. So small steps in the right directions are better than big steps in the wrong direction. And now we'll get into the news analysis of the Hindu newspaper. And here we would be talking about the panel which has come up with the data. And that panel is what we need to focus is the keyword here that we will be focusing about the panel, that is AEFI panel. So what is AEFI panel? That is adverse event following immunization. So definitely there are concerns and inhibitions in the minds of people or the citizens of India, especially in regards to the age group of 45 to 60 or above 60, that whether the vaccination is safe. So definitely there are inhibitions, and therefore there are scenarios wherein we have experienced after the immunization or inoculation of the vaccine, COVID-19 vaccine, there were instances of adverse scenario. So therefore, you have a panel in regards to keeping an eye on the adverse event following the immunization, and that panel, as per the data of that panel, that is adverse event following immunization data, the panel in India has showed that, or they have come to the conclusion that there is a minuscule, or it is a very minute of having a definitive risk of thromboembolic events. So what is the another keyword is that the AEFI panel has spoken about, or it has come to the conclusion that there is a minuscule of risk in regards to the thromboembolic events after the administration or inoculation of the vaccine, that is of AstraZeneca and Oxford vaccine, which in India it is called as Covishield vaccine. So this is manufactured by the Serum Institute of India, and the AEFI panel, which talks about there is a very minimal risk or very minimal definitive risk of thromboembolic events. So what is the crucial keyword for the prelims perspective or for the civil services is the thromboembolic events we need to focus, which has been identified or highlighted by the adverse event following immunization panel. So we will focus in regards to the key term, what is thromboembolic event. So this event could be very crucial, that is the key term could be crucial for prelims perspective of UPSC. So we need to understand the key term of what is thromboembolic. So it is a formation of a clot. So it's a blood clot in the blood vessel, and this clot might also break That means the clot, when it is in a bigger size or when it grows in the blood vessels, it might break, and that the clot which breaks further can be carried by the bloodstream to plug another vessel. So this is a crucial or conceptual understanding about the key term thromboembolic event. So this is a clot in a blood vessel, and there is a possibility that the thromboembolic, that is a clot, it might break further into smaller parts, and that broken one which is into smaller parts might be carried away, or it gets carried by the bloodstream to another vessel. So where there is a possibility that it would plug another vessel, that means it will again form a clot in that particular vessel. So this is a clot which might break and then carried by the bloodstream to plug another vessel, and this clot may plug a vessel. When it is getting into the another vessel to plug through the bloodstream, then there is a possibility that it might plug a vessel, that is the blood vessel in the lungs, in the brain, that is by the stroke, or gastrointestinal tract. It could be in the kidneys or in the legs. So definitely there is an importance of understanding the key term, that is thromboembolic event. So it is a clot in a blood vessel, and there is a possibility, or it might break, and then further it can be carried by the bloodstream to the another plug vessel or another vessel to plug it. And then when it might be, the clot may plug in a vessel, it could happen in the lungs, brain, gastrointestinal tract, kidneys, or leg. So this is the crucial one, important keyword for general science of UPSC prelims perspective. So we will look at from image how it looks at that is, so this is thrombus and embolus. So it has broken now, and this might get into by the bloodstream into another vessel to plug. So when there is a possibility that the thromboembolic might break the clot, and then through the bloodstream can enter into another vessel to plug. So as we said, it might enter into the legs, heart, kidneys, lungs, and then there is a possibility that even to the brain. So we will look at this. So this is part of the deep vein thrombosis, which is in the leg. So we can see whenever this kind of thrombosis takes place in the leg, or the clotting, that is thromboembolic, so we can see the nerves which thickens and it gets into black in color. So the main reason is because of the thrombosis, that is the clot in the blood vessel. And there is a possibility that it can happen in the heart also, so that there could be a possibility that when it could be an heart attack, or when it is to the brain, it is a stroke. And it can happen even in pulmonary embolism, it can happen, that is in the lungs. So this can happen through or it will happen in the vein, that is bronchial vein, and it might impact the pulmonary artery, which could be a right lung or the left lung. So there is a possibility that the thromboembolic event can take place in the legs, in the heart, in the pulmonary, that is in the lungs, kidneys, or to the brain. And that is what has been discussed or highlighted by the AEFI panel, that is by the adverse event following immunization data taken up by the panel, has said that there is a risk of thromboembolic events, but it is a minuscule, that is it's a very minimum. But what is crucial for prelims perspective is the event, that is the thromboembolic event, which is a key term which we need to focus from general science, from prelims perspective, and we have done it very effectively. And in regards to the AEFI panel, which it has said that there is a little of, or it's very minimum risk of thromboembolic events, the health ministry has noted that the reporting rate of the thromboembolic events in India is 0.61 per million doses. So as it is, the number of cases is minuscule, or it is very minimal, it is the the reporting rate is 0 point or 0.61 per million doses, and the health ministry has said that this is, or the reporting rate in India is much lower than the reports which are in the United Kingdoms or in Germany. So if we focus that the number of cases or thromboembolic events, the reporting rate in India compared with the Europe or with European countries, for example, United Kingdoms, UK or Germany. So if we focus on UK, the reporting rate of the thromboembolic is 4 cases per million in UK. And if you compare the thromboembolic events, which is of 0.61 per million doses in India, to Germany, it is 10 cases per million doses. So this is for a conceptual understanding about the reporting rate of thromboembolic events after inoculation of the Covishield vaccine in India and elsewhere in various other European countries. And the health ministry has also said that there were no potential thromboembolic events reported following the administration of Covaxin. So look at it. So here there is a clear understanding or that once the Covishield or Covaxin is administered, the possibility of the reporting rate of the thromboembolic events in Covishield, post-Covishield vaccination is 0.61 million doses. And when compared to the Covaxin administration, the vaccine, the health ministry says that there were no potential thromboembolic events reported for the Covaxin. So we have considered the differentiation of comparing the Covaxin administration, Covishield administration, and the reporting rate of thromboembolic events. So this is the one which we have analyzed in regards to the AEFI panel report, which says that there is definitive risk of thromboembolic events after administration of Covishield in India. So this you can take it from general science perspective for prelims. And there is another news which talks about the plasma therapy. So we have been talking about this since March 2020, and there were reports that yes, plasma therapy is the one which would be a key for the COVID-19 treatment. But if we look at, there were many trials which were made in the year 2020 by the ICMR, that is Indian Council of Medical Research, and in turn they called this PLACID trial, that is PLACID means which is a calm one, which the plasma therapy, which is a PLACID trial, had no significant benefit by using the plasma therapy onto the COVID-19 patients, and but still there was the plasma therapy continued to be placed in the recommendation guidelines provided by the ICMR for the COVID-19 treatment. Please do understand, in the year 2020, the PLACID trial or the plasma therapy had shown no significant benefit onto the patients, that is the COVID-19 serious patients, but still it had a place in the recommended guidelines by the ICMR. But if we look at the new advisory which was given on May 17, 2021, by the ICMR, that is Indian Council of Medical Research, has said that the use of the convalescent plasma, that is the plasma therapy, has been dropped from the recommended treatment guidelines for COVID-19, which was earlier had find a place in the recommended guidelines, but now the ICMR has dropped it. So this is the latest information that ICMR has dropped the convalescent plasma or the plasma therapy, which will not have any which do not have any significant benefit on the COVID-19 patients. So it has dropped the convalescent plasma from the treatment guidelines for COVID-19. And the National Task Force, which is of ICMR, along with the experts of the health ministry, they go ahead with recommending the periodically guidelines for the COVID-19 modes of treatment. So here what is very important for prelims perspective is which among the following are the one which takes up or which periodically updates the guidelines recommended for the mode of COVID-19 pandemic treatment. So it is National Task Force of the ICMR and experts from the Health Ministry. They come up with or they recommend the guidelines or the treatment of the guidelines for the COVID-19 pandemic situation, and that is taken up periodically. And if you look at the other side of it, I mean, if you move away from the plasma therapy and come to the few other drugs, the ICMR guidelines still recommend ivermectin and then hydroxychloroquine, which can be used for the mild COVID-19 disease. But it has underlined, that is ICMR has underlined that it has a low certainty evidence, but still it is in the list of the recommended treatment guidelines by ICMR for the mild disease of COVID-19. So which are the ones still recommended by ICMR is ivermectin and then hydroxychloroquine. But as of now, that is on May 17, 2021, an advisory by the ICMR that it has dropped the plasma therapy or convalescent plasma for treating the COVID-19 pandemic, COVID-19 situation, because it has shown no significant effect positively onto the COVID-19 patients. And there are some experts who have said that by using the plasma therapy, the experts say that there may have been even, that means plasma has had even played a role in facilitating new worrisome mutation to the virus. So we do not conclude it, but it is the statement by the experts which says that by the usage of the plasma therapy, there might be that plasma which is of the blood has played a key role in facilitating a worrisome mutation to the SARS-CoV-2 virus. And there has been a study which has been taken up by the British medical journal, that is the Lancet, on May 14th, and it has reported again that there is no benefit which is found by using the plasma therapy or convalescent plasma, that it would reduce any mortality or it would improve the patient's outcomes. So the study taken up by the British medical journal, the Lancet, also has said that there is no significant effect or positive effect in reducing the mortality and improving the patient's outcomes also. So definitely there is a concern by the experts, and also the study published by the Lancet has made it very clear that the plasma therapy do not have any improving effect on the patient's outcomes. So therefore, an advisory by the ICMR on the usage of the convalescent plasma has been dropped from the treatment guidelines for COVID-19. And there is another drug which has been approved by the DCGI, that is Drug Controller General of India, for the emergency use authorization, which has been developed by the DRDO, that is Defense Research and Development Organization, with collaboration with the private laboratory, that is Dr. Reddy's Laboratories. And the first batch of the COVID therapy drug, that is 2-deoxy-D-glucose, has been now handed over by the Defense Minister Rajnath Singh to the Health Minister Harsha Vardhan. So definitely now there is a very clear evidence that as the Defense Minister Rajnath Singh has handed over formally the drug, that is 2-deoxy-D-glucose, which has been developed by DRDO in collaboration with the Dr. Reddy Laboratories, has been handed over to the Health Minister Harsha Vardhan, passing on the message that definitely it would be an useful drug to treat the COVID-19 pandemic or COVID-19 patients, or to contain the SARS-CoV-2 virus. And this is a anti-COVID-19 therapeutic application which is of the drug 2-DG, which we have seen that it has been developed by DRDO, and lab which is part of the DRDO lab which has developed is the Institute of Nuclear Medicine and Allied Sciences. So it is not exactly the DRDO but a lab of DRDO which is INMAS, that is Institute of Nuclear Medicine and Allied Sciences, in collaboration with the Dr. Reddy Laboratories, have now come up with an anti-COVID-19 drug, that is 2DG. And this drug, while they have come up with the manufacturing of the anti-COVID-19 therapeutic drug 2DG, this drug is a good example. That is, the Defense Minister Rajnath Singh has said that this is a good example of a DRDO, that is the central government, and the private partnership which has come together, and this manufacturing of the therapeutic application, which is an anti-COVID-19 drug 2DG, will help patients in overcoming the oxygen dependency by about 40%. So definitely it is a life-saving drug which we can consider at this moment when there is a shortage of oxygen. So the 2DG or 2-deoxy-D-glucose anti-COVID therapeutic application drug is definitely a very good example of the central government and the private partnership coming together and then making up the drug which can overcome the oxygen dependency by 40%. And the health minister, that is Harshavardhan, has said that 2DG, which is a first therapeutic drug for anti-COVID-19 or for COVID-19, is the one which India has developed indigenously. So as we know that the central government is very much focused on Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. So that is in regards to self-reliance. So when we are talking about self-reliance, it is indigenous one. So definitely now the Health Minister Harshavardhan says that the first therapeutic drug, that is 2-deoxy-D-glucose, is the one which is developed indigenously. So definitely there is an applaud for the DRDO, and that is the Institute of Nuclear Medicine and Allied Science Lab of DRDO, in collaboration with the Dr. Reddy Laboratories, which the 2-deoxy-D-glucose therapeutic application drug is the one which India has developed indigenously. And there is another news which is in regards to the gas fields which Iran has now dumped India. Now we will focus at what happened to the one which was in regards to the energy ties between India and Iran. How Iran has gone ahead with dumping India in regards to the energy ties. So we will focus that. So Iran on May 1st, 2021 have given the Farzad B gas field. So this is the gas field, that is Farzad B gas field, which was taken up or which has been discovered by OVL, that is ONGC Videsh Limited, and it was the one which OVL has discovered in 2000, the Farzad B gas field in the Farzi region, which is located between Iran and Saudi Arabia territories. But we have seen on May 1st, 2021, Iran has given, or there was a deal which has been signed between Farzad B gas field it was given to the Petropars. So Petropars is a domestic gas producer, and which ONGC was the one, or else OVL was the one which has discovered the Farzad B gas field in 2000, and they had an ongoing cooperation between Iran and India. But Iran has given the Farzad B gas field to the domestic gas producer of Iran, that is Petropars. So this is as per prelims perspective that Iran has taken over from OVL and given to the domestic gas producer, that is Farzad B gas field, to Petropars. And this was discovered, the Farzad B gas field, which is in the Farzi region, and this Farzi region is located between Iran and Saudi Arabia. So this is as per again geography map based, that where is the location of the Farzad B gas field, that is in the Farzi region, wherein the fuzzy region is between the Iranian and Saudi territories. And if we look at this May 1st, 2021 deal, which Iran has given the Farzad B gas field to the Petropars, which is a domestic gas producer, this has happened despite India having a long-standing energy ties or cooperation with Iran, and this has taken place in regards to an indicative of the impact of US sanctions. So what are the reason is because of the impact of US sanctions on India-Iran energy cooperation. So therefore, Iran has now given the Farzad B gas oil fields to the Petropars, which is domestic gas production or producer. And this, the sanctions by the US on India-Iran energy cooperation has drastically reduced, especially during the Donald Trump administration. And therefore, Iran has gone ahead with giving the Farzad B gas field. So if you look at here, the maroon color one are the major gas fields. So we can see Farzad, North Pars, South Pars, Dalam, Aghar, Nor, so Gashu, and then Sarkhom. All these are the gas fields, major gas fields. And if you look at the green one, that is major oil fields. So you can see that major oil fields, there are a lot. When you compare in regards to the Iran bordering the Persian Gulf or coastal to the Persian Gulf, or also Iraq, you have many oil fields. So this, if you look at further now here in this, you have the Farzad A and Farzad B gas field. So this one, Farzad B gas field, has been now handed over by Iran to the domestic gas production, that is the Petropars. So this is in the Persian Gulf. Again, if you look at from geography map based, and Iran, this one, you have the South Pars and then North Field, which has a coastal to Qatar. And now we will look at another news which is in regards to economy, that is in regards to the wholesale price index inflation. So when we are focusing on the inflation, which is the WPI, now the WPI or the inflation which is measured by the WPI has gone ahead with a record high when we compare it from February to April. So if we focus the inflation, that is WPI inflation, in the month of February it was 4.8, and in the month of March 2021 it was 7.4%, and now in the month of April it is 10.5%. So definitely this is a cause of concern in regards to the inflation, especially by the wholesale price index, that it is going at, or it is surging, and it is a record high of 10.5%, comparing it with the April to the February 2021. And this increase or the record high of the WPI inflation is because of the base effect from last April, that is April 2020. And in the year April 2020, the WPI inflation was at a negative, that is minus 1.57%. And this has also gone ahead because of the surge, that is increase in the prices of fuel, food and manufactured goods. So definitely the rise or record high or the surge is because of the prices which have been increased, especially in the fuel, food, manufacturing goods, and also the negative inflation which was in the year April 2020 of 1.5%. And the wholesale inflation, especially focusing in regards to the fuel and power, it has doubled to 20.94%, comparing it with the March 2021 to April 2021. So here it is March 2020, not 2021, March 2020, it was 10.25%. And when we compare it, the inflation, that is WPI inflation, focusing on the fuel and power, it has doubled to 20.94% in the year 2021. So in a span of 1 year, it has been increased double, especially on the inflation WPI, that is focusing on fuel and power. And the manufacturing goods, if you focus now on the manufacturing goods, it has recorded 9%, and this, which is a high inflation WPI in regards to manufacturing goods, and once it has touched to 9%, the industry has urged the central government to rationalize the fuel prices or to reduce the fuel prices so that there would be a rein or a command on the high commodity prices. And now when we focus in regards to the WPI, in regards to the food prices, it has again soared or surged. From February, it was 3.6%. In the month of March, it was 5.3%. And when we now focus from April perspective, it is 7.6%. So definitely the food prices, WPI, inflation, focusing on the food prices also have increased from comparing it with February to April. And we know that this is the one which is now the WPI inflation would further increase. So if you look at now, it is 10 point, or it is almost 7.4% now in the month of March to 10.5%. So there is a possibility that it might peak to 10.5% from coming month of, or the last April, 8.4% WPI. So definitely there is a concern that we need to focus, that COVID-19 pandemic and its impact on the economy, that is inflation. So please do understand COVID-19 and its impact on inflation. So this is how you need to focus, how it has impacted, or the COVID-19 pandemic has impacted the inflation. If you look at, we need to focus from manufacturing goods, vegetables, that is especially focusing on the food prices. It could be eggs, meat, fish. Because of the COVID-19, there is a demand for the protein foods. Therefore, eggs, meat and fish inflation has grown. And then if you look at the fuel and power, inflation has also doubled month on month if you focus. And then food inflation has increased to definitely 7.6 to 7.58 or 7.6% from the March month. So month on month also there is an definitely increase, and this focuses that there is a steady surge of inflation, that is WPI inflation, and this has to be focused from COVID-19 pandemic and its impact on inflation, that is the prices, how it is soaring, and how again it has an cascading effect on the economy, Indian economy. So I hope this session was informative, knowledgeable one, and also helpful for mains and prelims perspective. So I would say a very big thank you to all. Good luck to you all, and then do maintain consistency, stick to your schedule, and then take care of your physical health and mental health. And do not forget to like the video, share the video, and subscribe the English medium YouTube channel of AKS IAS Academy, and also have access to the website and Telegram link of AKS IAS Academy. Again, see you tomorrow with the daily news analysis. Till then, thank you, goodbye, and then take care.